Hey everybody, welcome back to the warbossfitz channel. I am warbossfitz, and today we are out in the garage to play another solo game with a couple armies that are very close to my heart. We got the Orcs versus the Porks. Yes, this is the army of Porks, which I am using to stand in for a lot of black Orcs. A couple of weeks ago, I made this army to fight on the table, but then it dropped to like negative 40 degrees, so we were not able to put them on the board. I figured it's time to get them out and play with them. So yes, today these are going to be our elite orcs fighting against regular orc boys to see who is going to crump harder. So what do we have in the Porks army? Well, we're starting off with 3 squads of 10 black orcs. 2 of those squads have the dual hand weapons for 2 attacks apiece. The other one has its great weapons for 1 attack apiece at AP2. They all have Furious, they all have Melee Slayer. They're all led by black orc bosses. Again, 2 of them have dual hand weapons, 1 of them has a great weapon, and they all have Ferocious Boost. Next, we have a mob leader with Caster 2, leading a squad of 6 brutes. 4 of them have dual hand weapons for 4 attacks AP1. 2 of them have great weapons for 3 attacks apiece AP3. And then we got 3 giant boar riders in the back. They are our black orc chariots back there. Fast, Fear of 1, Ferocious, Impact 4, Ravage 6 with the Black Orc upgrade, giving them Toughness 9. Let's see who we're fighting against today. So here is the wide Orc army. It's pretty much got everything in there except for the Black Orcs. And we even got a couple of extra recruits coming back over from the Goblins. What is in this army? In the Orc army, we have 2 squads of 20 orcs with dual hand weapons, banners, musicians, and the speed feat ability. Give them an extra 6 inch of their charge. Both of those are led by mob leaders with dual hand weapons with Ferocious Boost. Then we have 3 squads of 10 wild orcs with Ferocious, Piercing Assault, Scout, Strider, and they also have the speed feat for an extra 6 inch charge. We got 2 squads of 10 wild boar riders, Fast, Furious, Piercing Assault, Ravage 1, Scout, and Strider. They're all carrying lances, giving them the thrust rule. So with their Piercing Assault and thrust, they're going to be hitting at AP2 when they charge. And then we have some trolls in the back on loan from the Goblins. We got a troll boss with Fearless, Mischievous, and Regeneration, leading a squad of 6 trolls, again, with Fearless, Mischievous, Piercing Assault mark, and Regeneration. They're all carrying heavy weapons, and with the Piercing Assault mark, they're all going to be AP4, at least, when they charge. So what does the board look like they're going to be fighting over? Well, we're going to be fighting over some ancient ruins here to see who is the king of the crump. We got some forests that are going to be giving difficult terrain. We got some impassable stuff, which is the big rock formations. It's going to be a bloodbath. As for actual mission, we have 5 objectives set up on the middle line. We're going to be deploying in 12-inch deployment zones. As the game progresses, at the end of each turn, I am going to roll a dice, and these objectives marked 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, one of those is going to disappear. So by the end of turn number 4, we are randomly going to have 1 objective left on the board. I'm all about orc chaos. Here we go. So I'm going to come back after deployment. Here is our orc deployment. We have the trolls back here on this side. We got the wild rider squad here, another squad of wild orcs. 20-man mob there, wild orcs, 20-man mob there, and then a unit of 20 orc riders. So they are definitely going to get a jump on objective grabbing because most of the army, 5 out of 8 units, have scouts. So they're going to be able to push forward and just sit on those objectives turn number 1. But remember, we don't know which ones are going to disappear when. Now for the pork deployment, we have the 3 giant boars sitting up here. They're going to be running forward as the sledgehammers. We have our great weapon boys over here. We got our brutes here, and then our 2 dual hand weapon units right there. Remember, everybody over there that is a black orc has Melee Slayer. It's not really going to matter that much because there's nothing really on the board with multiple wounds on the other side except for the trolls. So we'll see how that works out. Now, I had not yet rolled to see who gets turn number 1, or the first activation of turn number 1. So here we go. Orcs get a 5, and then our porks get a 4. So Orcs are going to be going first. On to turn number 1. Let's start the chaos. First activation for turn number 1. This great boar is within charge distance of the wild boar riders. And I couldn't stop them if I wanted to. They're going to charge in because they'd be crazy, yo. That great boar looks like it might be having a bad day. Let's find out. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do the ravage rolls. If I get a 6, there's a wound that goes straight through. There's 2 of them. Now we have the thrusting attacks. Quality 5 goes down to a 4 when you do thrust. Piercing assault plus thrust makes it AP 2. So hitting on a 4, AP 2. We got a couple. Plus we have ferocious, so that 6 turns into another one. That 7 hits an AP 2 saving on a 5. Ooh, roll that one again. There we go. So we saved 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 total wounds. It is down to 3. Now the giant boar also has ravage, but it's got ravage of 6. Looking for a 6. Ooh, there's 3 of them. Now it's got 2 attacks, AP nothing. Hitting on a 4. 1 hit. Saving on a 6. Fail. 2 attacks, AP 1. Hitting on a 4. 1 hit. Saving on a 6. Fail. And then it's got 3 attacks, AP 3 on a 4. 2 hits. Saving on a 6. Fail, fail. So the giant boar also did 7 wounds to the wild riders. Great boar's got fear of 1, meaning it's going to win combat. Morale test for the wild boar riders. Look for 5. They are going to take off running. So they charged in, knocked the boar down to 3 wounds, and then it fought back, killing off 7 of them, who then took off running. Then after winning combat, it gets its 3-inch wiggle. Ended up right there. Not a very good first activation for the Orcs. First activation for the Porks. The big unit of brutes, they're going to move forward. And our caster mob leader with the squad, it's just going to bank its spell token, so it's going to be up to 4 at the beginning of next turn. Next activation for the Orcs, that far squad of wild Orcs. They do have speed feat aura. They're going to use it. I mean, they get to use it every activation. And they're going to be able to charge up to 18 inches and run right face first into those brutes, because this is what they do. Getting in there looking for a scrap. So for our wild Orcs, they have 2 attacks apiece with the piercing assault, meaning their attack's going to be an AP 1, and ferocious gives us extra hits on a 6. Here we go. I forgot to say hitting on a 5, but with those, 3 extra 6s in there, we go from 7 to 10 hits. So our brutes have an armor of 4 up. AP 1 is going to a 5. They're going to fail 5 of them, so that's 1 2/3 of a brute that are going to die. So the brute that died had one of the great weapons, so that means we got lots of attacks coming back. Some of them are AP 1, some are AP 3, it doesn't matter, it goes right through the armor. We hit on a 4. So we got 12 hits in there, 5 of them are 6s, so it turns into 17. Save it on a 6. Definitely not enough. Blood and guts everywhere. Oh, that could have gone a little bit better for those wild orc boys. But it is what it is. I call these meat missiles. You set it and forget it. They moved forward a couple inches because of the wiggle after combat. They're not that fast, but man, these guys are still aggressive. Our great weapon, Black Orcs, all the way over there. They're just going to go ahead and move forward. There's nothing worth charging. At least not yet. Next activation for the Orcs will be that giant mob of boys over there, moving forward to hold the objective, being less silly than their wild orc buddies. The Pork Great Boar is going to swing around and go park itself on that objective, setting itself up right there. Absolutely seeing red after their boar riders were killed. That unit of wild orcs using the speed feat aura is going to be able to swing around that impassable terrain with their 18-inch charge and get into that great boar. So 20 attacks, hitting on a 5, AP 1. Let's see what happens. Once again, we got 7 hits with 2 6s, making it 9. Maybe. Saving on a 4. Ooh, yep, that'll do it. So that great boar is out of there. And then the wiggle puts the wild orcs there, definitely on that objective. The unit of dual-wielding porks here in the middle, they're just going to move forward as fast as their little hoofed feet can take them. Unit of trolls is going to move up, and they're going to be able to put one of their big old clawed feet on that objective. The Porks have 3 units left to move. We're going to go ahead and start with the closest Great Boar. And after measuring, we have found that it is just in charge range of that guy. So that's what we're going to do. Aggression! So starting off the fight, we got our 6 Ravage attacks looking for a 6. Not a single one this time. Now the fun part is where the Wild Orcs have an armor of 6, AP doesn't matter. We go right through. So all of the attacks, hitting on a 4, AP, good enough. Re-roll that one. There we go. Hitting on a 4. We got 3 hits. Turns into 4 because of that 1 6. Saving on a 6. Oh, they actually saved one. Wow. So they got 14 attacks coming in. Hitting on a 5. And 6s are extra hits. That looks pretty good to me. What? I just realized they were all 6s they hit. So that's an extra 7 for 14 hits. So piercing assault is only when you charge. This is AP nothing. Saving on a 3. And the Great Boar takes 4 with the 3 that were taken by the Wild Orcs plus the fear of 1. We're going to have a tied combat. Leaving it like that. Next activate will be the other big mob of boys in the back, and they're kind of stuck where they have to choose one direction or the other. So they're going to go over and join the trolls, using their speed feat to get all up in there. Next activate is going to be the last Great Boar, or the Porks. This time it was about a quarter inch shy from making that charge. The Wild Orcs are having delusions of grandeur after how good they did last time. They're going to charge back into that Great Boar. I don't know if this is going to work. So here we go. 14 attacks, hitting on a 6 because they are fatigued. AP 1 this time. Well, that 6 is going to make it 2. Saving on a 4. Ooh, snake eyes. Putting the Great Boar down to 3 wounds left. So now it's the Boar's turn to fight with Ravage first, because it goes off every time they attack. Looking for a 6. As I missed the box with one of them. There's 1. And then all the Boar's attacks on a 6. 2 of them will turn into 4. Again, AP doesn't matter because they have a save of 6 anyways. They saved 1. 4 Wild Orcs are dead. The Boar took 2 wounds. It definitely won combat morale tests for the Wild Boys. Look for 5. That's not a 5. Remember how I said I don't know if that was going to work out? Well, it just straight up didn't. Last activation for the Porks. Our squad over there is going to go rooting through the underbrush. Ending up right there. Then the final activation for the Orcs. That Wild Rider squad. They're just gonna wiggle a little bit just to make sure they keep a hold of that objective over there. That brings us to the end of turn number 1. Now we get to see which objective disappears. They're numbered 1 through 5, and I'm just going to re-roll 6s. Of course, immediately I roll 6. Try again. 3. Ooh, right in the middle. Interesting. So at the end of turn number 1, the Orcs have taken 3 of the objectives. The Porks actually do not hold any, but as we go on, more and more of these objectives will just straight up disappear. We'll have to see what happens. On to turn number 2. First activation of turn 2. Our Black Orcs with the dual hand weapons are going to try to go blender mode on that unit of 20 Orc boys. Ooh, I can't wait to see what happens. So here we go. We got 24 attacks. 4 of them are coming from the Black Orc boss. They're all hitting on a 4. The bosses are AP 1. Let's do him first. We have the Furious Boost. That makes that 4 hits right there. At AP 1, they're saving on a 6. Not a single one. And then we got the rest of the Black Orcs hitting on a 4. 20 attacks. Ooh, let me count this out. So we got 11 hits with 6 6s, giving us 17 hits total. Can't believe there wasn't a single 5 in there. Our Orc boys save on a 5. Yeah, reroll that one. They only save 4, leading to 13 there, plus the 4 from before. 17 Orc boys dead. So we got 3 left and their mob leader. So 4 models, a total of 10 attacks, coming back, hitting on a 5. 2 hits. They also have the Furious boost, so those 2 5s turns into 4 hits. Now our Porky boy's got some heavy armor on a 3-up. And we still lose 1. Morale test for the Orc boys. They're going to take off a run-in. I asked for blender mode. Can't ask for any more blender than that. First activation of the turn for the Orcs, and that giant mob is charging that big boar. We gonna get him. Now this is a crazy number of attacks. They're all within 2 inches. We have the character in there. We have Ferocious Boost. 44 attacks, hitting on a 5. AP nothing, but everything that hits is going to be an additional hit. Woo, here we go. Roll that one. Now let's count them. So we got 17 hits with Ferocious Boost. Gives us another 17 more for a grand total of 34 hits. Now our big Porky boy, these are AP nothing, saving on a 3. It takes 8 wounds, dropping it down to 1 left. Oh my lord. Now it's its turn to fight. We got Ravage first, looking for a 6. Ooh, there's 1 6, 1 dead Orc. They save on a 5, so we got 2 that are AP nothing. That's definitely a miss. And then we got 5 attacks at AP enough, hitting on a 4. With just 1. Saving on a 6. Nope. So we've lost 2 Orcs. Morale test for the Great Boar. It's going to pass. So that was an absolute metric ton of dice, leaving us with this. On the opposite side of the board, where we witnessed the blender, our great weapon, Porks, are going to try to charge into those trolls. Let's do some troll stomping. So for the great weapon, Black Orcs, their melee slayer is going to come into play here. They're going to be hitting on a 3. Everything is going to be AP 4 or higher. They do have Furious Boost, so 5s are extra hits, and they hit on a 4. That was bad. 5 hits total. Saving on a 6. Nothing, but they do have regeneration. On a 5. They take 1. Oh no, boys. Oh no. So the trolls have 22 attacks back. And these are strong enough to go right through the Black Orc's armor. Everything is at least AP 3. We hit on a 4. We don't explode anything, but the Black Orcs have to reroll their 6s because of Mischievous. Uh-oh. 13 hits. Good old lucky number 13. Saving on a 6. I got to reroll those 2. 6. No. 13. Oh no. How many wounds do 10 Black Orcs and 1 Black Orc boss have? Why they have 13? Why do you ask? So the Orcs figured they're just going to keep this pain train going, charging into that unit of Black Orcs. There we go again. 22 attacks, except this time they're only hitting on a 6. I missed one. There we go. So there we got 6 hits. Once again, saving on 6s, but I got to re-roll it. There's 2 6s. Nope. So there's 6 dead Black Orcs. So even though they are fatigued, these Black Orcs still do have Melee Slayer, meaning our Black Orc hero is going to be at AP 3, hitting on a 6 for nothing. And everyone else is at AP 2, hitting on a 6. We got 1. That turns into 2 because of Furious. 7 on a 5. Save 1. Then regeneration. It saves. Morale test for the Black Orcs. They are under half, and they're not fearless, so on a 4. Oh no! These trolls are going on a tear. That's crazy. Oh no, I think we're in trouble. The brutes are going to turn around and charge into those trolls. Starting off first, our caster in the squad is going to spend all 4 points on Magic Fists, putting it on the trolls, and it is close enough to that mob in the middle. If this goes off, the next thing that attacks them is going to get Rending. On a 3. It goes off. Hey, hey, hey. So it's 3 enemy units. So we're going to do both of those squads that are within range. We got little markers out there. Plus that unit of wild boys. They're close enough. Why not? Now let's get to fighting. So let's do the leader first. He's got 3 attacks, AP nothing, hitting out of 5 with ferocious, but it is rending now. So we got 1 hit. Save of a 3. Ooh, it's going to go through. And because all the attacks are rending, it doesn't get regeneration. We've got 3 attacks at AP 3, hitting out of 4. We got 1 hit. Saving out of 6. That's another one through. And then we got 16 attacks at AP 1, hitting out of 4 with ferocious. So we got an extra 2 hits in there because it is rending. Those are now AP 4. So we'll do those first on a 6. Nope. And the rest on a 4. Save 2. For a total of 8 wounds caused. There's 1 troll that was already down to 2, so that is going to be 3 whole trolls removed. So the trolls, their AP is going to go right through the armor, hitting on a 6. For nothing. Wow. Morale for the trolls on a 4. With fearless. Alright, they're good. So we got these brutes doing some work. That's how they're going to end up. They're still not close enough to contest the objective, but we've got time, right? The unit of wild orcs over there with their speed feet, they're going to go ahead and swoop around and charge into the brutes. Let's see how they do. So here we go. We got 20 attacks, hitting on a 5 with ferocious and piercing assault, meaning they're going to be AP plus 1. Ooh. 7 hits plus 3 for the 6s, giving us 10 at AP 1. Save it on a 5. Ooh, not great. It's going to take 7 wounds. We have 1 that was already down to 1, meaning it's going to drop 3 whole brutes. So we got 2 brutes and the leader fighting back. Their AP doesn't matter. Armor is a 6, hitting on a 6. We got 2 that's going to turn into 4. And yeah, they have the rending mark, but rending does not matter because their armor is a 6 anyways. Oh, they're going to pass 2 of them. So morale test for the brutes on a 4. They're gone. Leaving that whole flank pretty much naked. Pork's turn over here. We are going to have the squad of dudes that are in the bushes. They're going to charge forward into the wild riders. Getting kind of cramped over there. So after some careful measuring, 2 of the black orcs are too far out. So it's going to be 8 of them plus the leader. 20 attacks, hitting on a 4. AP nothing, but it's fine because the wild rider saves a 6. With ferocious boost, 5s explode. Maybe. 9 hits, 7 of those are going to explode for a total of 16. Save on a 6. Yeah, that's enough. That does enough damage to clear out this whole mess. Their 3-inch move is just not enough to go put a claw on that objective. All we got left in turn number 2 are the 2 giant boars. We're going to have the far one charge first. Big old Mr. Boar is going to start off with a Ravage. For nothing. 2 attacks, AP nothing. Ooh, those are both going to explode. And because they have the rending marker, these are rending on a 6 and then on a 5. So they're going to lose 3 there. And the rest of the attacks, we got 2 hits. One of them's a 6. Saving on a 6. They save 1 for a total of 5 down. So for the attacks back, we got 13 orc boys. And then the leader, all AP nothing, all hitting on a 6. Ooh, reroll that. Come back here. Reroll that one. So they got 4 6s, turns into 8 hits. Saving on a 3. It takes 1. So that one is down to 2 wounds left. Time for the orcs to take a morale test. On a 5. They're going to fail. Time to unwind this cluster. So they are now stunned. They have the dreaded Marble of Doom. So our very wounded boar that's on the objective is going to charge into. Once again, starting off with a Ravage on a 6. Ooh, we got 1 there. 2 attacks, AP nothing on a 6. Nope. 5 attacks, AP enough on a 6. Nope. Now the orcs attack back on a 6. Ooh, reroll that one. So they remembered how to use their swords. 8 hits turn into 16 from ferocious. Saving on a 3. Oh no. Nope. I don't know if that was the best idea, but there we go. So that brings us to the end of turn number 2. God, that was only turn number 2. The amount of death and destruction is amazing. I love it. Let's see which objective disappears. I'm going to be re-rolling 3s and 6s. Of course, get a 3. Try again. 2. All right, then. So at the beginning of turn number 3, the Orcs still hold the 2 far objectives, but the Porks have picked up the objective, which is number 4, because that unit of Orcs that's on it is stunned. Let's see. Let's see how much further these two can go. First activation goes to the Orcs, and that squad is going to recover because they don't want to get charged and just run off because of that stupid marble. Our last remaining squad of Black Orcs. The smart thing would be to go tag the other objective, but I'm an Orc at heart. I ain't smart. We're going to charge into that big old squad. It's crumping time. We're going to start off with the Black Orc Chieftain. 4 attacks, hitting on a 4, AP1. 5s and 6s explode. That's 6 hits right there. Save it on a 6. Well, okay. 2 die. Then 20 attacks with the rest of the boys. 8 hits with a ferocious boost. We got 6 extra hits for that many. Save it on a 5. 8 more for a grand total of 10 gone. So all the attacks back, hitting on a 5. With a ferocious boost. 6 hits, ferocious boost, extra hits on a 5, turn into 12. Saving on a 3. To lose 1. Not too bad. Morale test for the Orcs. They're going to take off. Cleaning up the board a little bit there, boys. All the way in the back, those wild Orcs still have the speed boost. They're going to charge into the chariot or great boar. 8 wild boys left, so that's going to be 16 attacks. Hitting on a 5 with AP1, 6s explode. 2 hits. Okay, saving on a 4. That great boar is just fine. Ravage! It's going to kill 1 right there. And then all the attacks at the same time hitting on a 4 because AP doesn't matter against the wild boys. 3 hits. Saving on a 6. Fail them all, so there's a total of 4 gone. They're under half. Morale test on a 5. Oh, they're good. Leaving us with that. Now, it might be time for a weirdly sacrificial play. If this guy charges here and kills those, yay, but then the trolls will be able to charge it. But then if the trolls charge it, they'll definitely kill it, which will then put them into charge range for these guys next turn, and they're going to get the first turn. The Porks are still down 2 objectives to 1, but 2 of these objectives are going to disappear, and we don't know which ones yet. You know what? I've talked myself out of it. Mr. Great Boar is going to back up a little bit and put himself there. So now the trolls got nowhere to go except forward. And that'll be the end of turn number 3. So here we go. Time to figure out which objective is going to go away. We have 1, 4, and 5 left on the board. Anything else we're going to re-roll? Number 1 goes away. Woo! That makes things interesting. So going into round 4, each team holds 1 objective apiece. Porks get to go first. Let's see what kind of craziness we can have happen here. Oh man, I love it when it comes down to the wire. First action, turn number 4 are Porks. They're going to charge into those wild Orcs, but we're going to try to make a wall. Let's see if this craziness works. So we got 5 Black Orcs and the Black Orc leader in there. 14 attacks, hitting on a 4, 5s and 6s explode. So we got 6 hits, and 6 more for 12. Save it on a 6. Oh yeah, they're dead. Now check out this cheesiness. Now, the only way for those trolls to get to that objective is to go right through them, so that's what they're going to do. Time for the trolls to attack. 13 attacks, hitting on a 4. Everything's going to go right through the armor. Not bad. We got 6 hits. 6s for these guys do not explode because they're technically goblins. Saving out of 6, and I need to re-roll it. There's 1 6. Hey, so we lose 5. So we got 4 Black Orcs and the Black Orc leader left. We're going to do him first. Our melee slayer comes into play here. The leader is going to be AP 3, hitting on a 6. No. The rest are going to be AP 2 on a 6. We got 3 6s. Those turn into 6 6s. Saving out of 5. We save 2. Regeneration. So they're going to lose 1 whole troll. Meaning Black Orcs lost combat. Morale test on a 4. And they're going to fail. Fear not, for the Black Pork sacrifice was not in vain. Because even with a 3-inch winning combat move, they're not able to get on that objective. Last activation with its fast. Our great boar over there is going to take that objective for the cause. So now with the Porks holding both of these objectives, it does not matter which one of them goes away. 5, this one, because Porky Boys still hold that one. So we got a 1-0 or all or nothing Pork victory. So I hope you guys enjoyed that game. I loved it. I love orc on orc action. It is just chaos and fury and just aggression and beat staking. Oh, it is the best part of any game. If you all have any suggestions on army lists or armies or even just systems you want to see played, put those down in the comments below. I'll check them out. So that'll do it for me out here in the garage today. Make sure you check out our sponsors down below. We have Corvus Terrain and we have PrintedStarships.com. PrintedStarships.com have upped their deal to 20% off when you use the warbossfitz code. Get you some paints from Army Painter. And I hope you guys are having fun playing OPR wherever you are. And I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.